All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to get started in just a moment. Before I get started, I would like to thank Roots Chosen for joining us today and co-casting this event.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Tonight's tale of the tape, we have for Team Gravity, Kreos against Roots Minigun. Now, Kreos is currently 1-0 in the Team Gravity Fight Night series, but he has got a huge contender in the form of Minigun, who is a very strong defensive macro-style Protoss who's got fantastic large battle unit control, which means he can go late game, just like Kreos can.
Yeah, miniguns, like if you're a player trying to learn Protoss, minigun's one of those guys that you really want to watch play because he is so good at playing standard. He's so consistent. And over the past couple years, he's been one of the most consistent top 16 ladder players in North America. So he's a very defensive, standard, just solid Protoss with great big army control.
Indeed. And the audience is wondering, how old is Kreos? Well, if you look at his age, Darius, you can see that he was born in 1990, just like Minigun is, so they're both 23 years old.
Yeah, they are actually both within a couple of months of each other, it looks like.
Indeed.
Getting everything pulled up here since I just got here.
That's fine. In the meantime, spawning in the top left corner, playing Protoss, representing Team Root, it is Minigun. And spawning in the bottom right, representing Team Gravity, currently 1-0 in the Fight Night series, but 0-0 in this series against Minigun, it is Kreos.
Gonna be some great games. Who are you thinking is the favorite? What's your score prediction? Let's get right to it.
You're gonna put me on the spot, aren't you?
Yeah, man, of course.
You know what? If Kreos brings his A game, I think you will be pleasantly surprised with how well he does. I think you'll be surprised.
I definitely know that Kreos is a good player, and I was talking to Minigun last night about this, and when he found out he was playing him, he was like, "Oh, he's a good player. I've had some good games versus him." So I definitely think it's going to be a great set, and whoever wins, I believe it's going to be like a 4-3 or 4-2. I don't think we're going to see a 4-0.
Yeah, probably not. And interestingly enough, Kreos has decided to go pool first against Minigun.
Yeah, on these two-player maps, I guess he just doesn't want to do that hatch and risk, a cannon rush or any sort of crazy harassment. So both players playing extremely safe so far, but Minigun electing to go for that Forge before the Nexus. There's a lot of differences, whether you want to go for the Gateway first or Forge first or Nexus first, etc., etc. So both players doing the safe route so far.
Indeed. And as you said, Minigun definitely with the Forge Fast expand, so he's planning on going, later game. Obviously, he's not going to get a chance to cannon rush at this point because Kreos has been able to scare away that probe.
Yep.
Jesus. New viewer, we're gonna bring you on next time, and you can do the tail of the tape yourself, just so you can get that off your back. He's been hounding us every single match to do the tail of the tape, and of course, this is new to us, so we're kind of like, well, when do we start talking about it? And it's like, well, we only have about 10 seconds as the game's winding up to talk about it.
Hey, we got at least 3 more games minimum, so we'll get it in there. We'll get it in there.
Indeed.
So how did your guys' previous set go? I've been busy all day, so I only caught like the last 5 minutes.
Well, we had pretty much 3-0s both games. Not in favor of Gravity. Neeb, a very impressive player. He was behind all 3 games against Serenity, but just took the late game in just convincing fashion.
Yeah, I caught the last about 5 minutes when I jumped on here, and it looked like Neeb was multitasking really well. He was never letting him leave his base or anything, just dropping him constantly.
Indeed. And Kreos has put down his 3rd hatch. Yep.
Okay, yeah, he put that hatchery down in about 4 minutes, and that's, usually when you're going to get a hatch that fast, you don't have time to get gas or anything. So he's going to be just sitting on Queens and Zerglings for a long time here. We're not going to be seeing any sort of fast lair or speedling aggression or anything like that. So he's really setting up and confident with his macro game here versus Minigun.
And Minigun has decided to go Stargate. So it will be interesting to see if he's just going to make an Oracle or if he's going to commit to this and do Stargate play. You would know more about him. What does this normally indicate when Minigun?
Well, Minigun is usually gonna be taking a route that's gonna get him that third base. If he doesn't do something cheesy at the start, like a cannon rush or something like that, you know, where he scouts a Zerg that he thinks is gonna 3-hatch before pool or something, then he'll be super aggressive. But judging by how this game is going, I think he's just gonna use the Stargate to kind of poke and prod and, you know, get some scouting information. Maybe get like one Phoenix. Yep, there's the one Phoenix. He's probably just gonna get like 1 or 2 Phoenix, kind of try to take the air, get the overlords out of his base so he can't be scouted freely, and then kind of poke at the Zerg and see what he's building, see the gas timings, and, you know, just kind of try to mosey his way over here into the third. You see him destroying those rocks right now. He's going to be wanting to take that third as soon as he safely can.
Indeed. I like how quickly he's going after those rocks. So your plan here, or your thought is that Minigun is just going to try and slowly whittle away on Kreos until he just gets a strong enough lead to push in and kill him.
Yeah, this is a great map late game for Protoss, as long as the Zerg doesn't get swarm hosts up here right up below that middle ramp, because for Protoss they've got such an easily accessible fourth, which is so important for Protoss late game, and they have that fourth sitting right there, right underneath their natural. So I think Minigun is going to love to go late game here, and as long as he can keep swarm hosts off of his ramp, he should be fine.
Okay. Let's see. So in the meantime, we do have one Evo chamber down for a Kreos. He is going lair. His lair is about to finish. He's decided to commit to missile attack, so we're going to see Roach, possibly Hydra play.
Yep.
He does have the spores down in every base, so he's not going to really take a hell of a lot of damage from these Phoenix. He's just going to be very annoying. Have to make sure his overlords are not getting sniped, and you know, his drones are not going to get picked off right at the edge.
Yeah, Zerg just really like to have a nice overlord spread. It makes them feel secure when they can sacrifice an overlord into the base whenever they're getting a little bit curious. It's kind of like Terran using a scan. They can just fly an overlord in real quick. He's not going to have that option, so he really doesn't see very much the map at all as far as what Zerg is used to with these better overlords. So Minigun just wanted to take the skies real quick and keep the Zerg in the dark as much as possible.
Yeah, and it looks like Minigun did find a little bit of an opening here and managed to do some damage, picking off a queen.
Yeah, getting
Phoenixes.
that one queen. Nice little pickup there. And Kreos just going crazy with the drones here and getting that fourth quickly here, even before the 10-minute mark. He's already at 76 workers. Minigun at 60. So economically, they're about on even footing.
Yeah.
But Kreos is actually ahead right now by about 15 in the harvester count.
Yeah, but 60 is a very strong probe timing for 10 minutes for a Protoss. I mean, that's impressive, considering he's doing Phoenix harassment while he's macroing.
Yep, both players just really feeling each other out here on game one, and both just kind of saying, okay, I'm going to play standard, you're going to play standard, let's see how it goes, and we'll see how we feel for game two. And that seems to be kind of both these players' mindset right now.
Okay, and in the meantime, we have seen that Groove's Spines is about to finish, so it's definitely going to be the path. Ooh, and Infestation Pit is going down already. So I wonder if he's just going to try and tech to higher level upgrades, or if he's actually thinking about Swarm Host.
Well, we're actually seeing Thermal Lance come out here from Minigun, which means he's going to be going into Colossal production. And Colossals are great versus Hydralisks, and he's also getting his Storm Tech, or he's getting a Twilight Council, so Storm Tech is going to be very late. He's going to have to rely on those Colossus to defend versus the Hydralisk, because Roach Hydra will obviously demolish an army without AoE, so he's going to have to get Storm or Colossus, and it looks like the Colossus route for now.
Yeah, and interestingly, he's also going Blink. I'm not sure what do you think the plan is with the Blink? Do you think the Blink is just to be able to get in and maybe pick off Corruptors later on, you know, if they come out against the Colossi?
I think the reason he's getting Blink is because Hydras, it's very hard to retreat with Hydras. If you start an engagement that isn't going to go in your favor, it is extremely difficult to run away with Hydras, and a lot of times with Protoss, if you just spend a little bit of resources to research that Blink, you can actually Blink on top of them, and Hydras are expensive, so if the Zerg is trying to move away from an engagement, you Blink forward and snipe off like 6 Hydras for free. That can really swing the game in your favor and allow you to take a 4th base and really focus on your tech again. So I think he just wants to make sure and have that option. I mean, Blink is pretty cheap anyway. It's one of those things that late game as Protoss you really want to have in your arsenal no matter what.
Okay, interesting. So it's basically, in his case, he's going to basically counter the maneuverability of those, the Hydras, and kind of exploit the fact that without their speed upgrades, they're pretty much committed once they start a fight.
Yeah, Hydras are very committed once they start a fight, and we're actually seeing the Warp Prism perhaps coming in here as the mage of Kreos, and he's doing a pretty good job of dealing with that. I don't think he's really lost anything to note, and we're actually seeing about a 60 supply lead here for Kreos, so things looking good for both players. Now, obviously Proton can handle being behind in supply a little bit better than Zerg can, so it's nothing to panic about here yet for Minigun, but he is slowly falling behind here in army value and supply.
He is, and at the same time, Kreos is about to finish 3 Vipers, so he's prepared for Colossi.
Yep,
And
if you're going to be using Roach Hydra, sorry to interrupt you, I was just going to say
by all means.
The Vipers do a great job in helping. Like I said, Hydras are so bad versus Colossus. You know, having those couple Vipers to be able to tug them into your army just really do a great job of helping you deal with them. But he also has Storm, and I don't think he's going to morph those into Archons. He's going to leave them as Storm because Storm is very useful versus these Zerg Hydra balls. And we're actually seeing the engagement come here right now.
Yeah. So here comes the... Yeah, I'm not sure that the Kreos has got quite the positioning that he wants yet. But if he's able to pull even 1 or 2 of those Colossi, and he could really change the...
Oh, he gets 2 Colossus for free.
Oh, no. And there's the third
and
one.
A third.
That was quite good. Quite good for Kreos.
Now, if he gets this forward, he's going to stop that upgrade, and I think that's going to be a big priority for him. He needs to pull forward and fight that forward. He knows it. Come on, 1 more hit. He has to fight that forward. There it is. And that's a devastating blow for Minigun. He's losing his upgrade, and he's surrendered his ramp. He doesn't have any more time warp or anything. This is bad news. I think Kreos is going to take down game 1 here. He's already taken the ramp, and we're seeing pros be pulled, so looking like a 1-0 lead here coming through possibly.
Very, very impressive. It was just basically those Viper pulls that decided that outcome of that fight. From that point on, I mean, there was not much Minigun can do when it's a bunch of Roach Hydra and you don't have any AoE other than a few high temps.
It's important to point out that Minigun is an excellent player, and he was able to actually hold that, which 99% of Protoss that you play on ladder would have died right there. But he is in a tough spot right here. He lost so many Colossus for free without trading army with those resources, and he's got enough gas here to replenish his storms, but with no he lost his robotics facility production for about 2 minutes there, and he lost his upgrades. So the later this game goes here, it's just going to be really tough for him to cope with everything. His best bet is to get this 4th solidified and just wait until like a 200 battle, and hopefully Kreos lets him get to that point.
I don't think it's going to happen. Kreos is morphing its 7 Broodlords right now.
Yeah, and as soon as he gets those Broodlords, he's going to send them across the map, and I think he's a smart player. He's going to know that he wants to crush Minigun before he gets back to that 200 point and kind of get stable again. And yeah, we're seeing the army move out again here and get those Broodlords into position. So, but Minigun doing a good job on staying in this game.
You see this one by going on here too. This could be. Yep. There's a lot of spines here, but I don't think there's enough to stop him from doing some damage.
Well, what he's doing right here with these Zealots is he's not trying to really kill the Zerg or do any devastation. What he's doing is trying to make the Zerg pull his army back and give him some more time to kind of get solidified and get everything up and running. Get his Colossus count up a little bit higher. You see him chronoing his robotics facility. But Kreos not falling for it. He's keeping his
not at all.
Up here at the ramp, and this is a really tough spot for Minigun. It's going to be so hard for him to come down that ramp without taking so much damage from the Broodlords.
Indeed, and Kreos did leave enough roaches to handle those Zealot run by, so in the end it was not effective. Not the way
that was a great play by Kreos there. You see so many people panic and pull their whole army back. He's doing a good job of leading his army up here to attack and dealing with that with the minimum units possible.
Well, he needs to be careful with those Broodlords though. They're gonna get killed by these Void Rays and high temps. No. It's not enough though.
Yeah, that engagement went okay for Minigun as far as trading resources wise, but he's not in a position where he can just trade okay. He has to be dominating battles, and if he loses that force, which he just did, going to be in an even tougher position. So he really
He's going to lose
needs a lot of
his group
swarms.
versus the Stalkers, though. But at the same time, he's got a strong enough economy that he can basically he can max back out the 200 and just come back again and pick off the remnants of the last fight.
Yeah. Kreos is already maxed again, and just swarming units at Minigun. And like I said, even if they trade, that's a win for Kreos, because at this point he's willing to trade units as long as Minigun can't get that fourth established.
Yeah. Absolutely. I must say, this is a testament to Minigun's skill that, this is the first game. This is the feeling out game. I'm not sure if there's nerves or just, he hasn't had a chance to play today, but you can still see the strength of Minigun and the way he's handling these fights. Most people, like you said, they would just roll over and die at this point. And yet he's still putting up a very good fight.
Yeah, and I do want to point out that it is Minigun's first game of the day, so
right.
He is
exactly.
still kind of getting a feel for everything. He just got on about 5 minutes before we started the Showmatch, so he might be warming up a little bit and getting into his groove, and he's not out of this game. This game is not over. I thought it was over about 5 minutes ago, but I mean, it is in Kreos' favor, but it is definitely not over. If Kreos makes one mistake and loses some units for free, and Minigun's able to get this fourth up and running and get some harassment in and hurt a Zerg Expo, this game is not over. It could definitely swing in Minigun's favor if Kreos makes a mistake.
Indeed. And Kreos, once again, he's shoring up the corruptor count, so he's going to be able to easily deal with these Colossi. Kreos currently on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bases against what appears to be 4 of Minigun. Yep, 4 of Minigun. Not a bad position.
But he's, basically both players basically mined out in their main, and the Nationals dwindling.
Yep.
So Minigun's gonna have to win a big engagement.
Speaking of big engagement, here it goes again.
He's gonna need to land some money storms on those Hydras, and Kreos knows that he's pulling those back.
Kreos is successful in taking out the Colossi, but is he going to be able to take out those Tempests? Probably. Nope. If he's able to get in range of him, he's going to probably take out the Tempest too. And that's a very expensive unit to be losing.
Yeah, Tempest, very, very expensive to lose. Kind of slow, kind of hard to maneuver, and they're really, something you want to get as part of your death ball late game, but very, very tough to maneuver if you're in a battle where you're behind.
Yeah. I like how the chat has devolved into Jack and Coke conversation.
Oh, Jack and Coke. I'm actually a bartender by day, so.
Oh, good for you.
I know all about serving up those Jack and Coke.
My favorite. All right. Well, it looks like Kreos might be thinking, okay, maybe this isn't working, and he's switching to Swarm Host. His Enduring Locust is just finishing now.
When you have map control late game as Zerg, you should always be sprinkling in Swarm Host with your army. I mean, it's free damage, and it just puts so much pressure on your opponent to move fast and get something done. And if they don't, the Swarm Host just sit there and pick away at you for free. And I mean, you're basically just stealing resources from your opponent. And now he's in that funny position that I talked about at the very start of the game. On this map, once Zerg gets Swarm Host on this area, it's basically over. I mean, for Minigun to break this, it's going to take an amazing engagement, because those Swarm Hosts are just going to sit here, and not only do they pick away at an army for free, but they aggro damage that isn't hurting other units. So, I mean, they are just so massively important on this map to get in this position where Kreos has them right now.
Indeed. And Minigun is trying to make a mothership and go the Void Ray route to try and deal with this, but I'm not sure if this is going to be enough time.
Yeah, I mean, he sees the little brood thing. He knows exactly what's happening. He knows he has to get some Void Ray support, and he has to get money storms, and it's a perfect engagement. He's trying to hold off for as long as possible and take as little damage from these Swarm Hosts, because that's free damage you don't want to take, but it's putting him in a very tough position.
Yes, and Kreos is being very patient with trying to pick off his basically last useful base of Minigun. He came in with the Hydras, didn't want to see his army split, waited for the Locust, pulled back when the Locust died, and now here he goes again to try and take out that fourth. Do we have Overseers on this side of the map for Kreos? I don't see any, so he's going to have a hard time dealing with this cloaked army.
One thing I do want to note is Minigun is at 80 harvesters right now, and that was way too many. So that means his army value is actually a little bit less than you would expect it to be, because usually a Protoss right now would be at like 65 harvesters once they take their 4th base. So his army value is a little bit not indicative of what his supply is, and that's going to hurt him a little bit if they have a big engagement. But it looks like Kreos actually pulled back a little bit,
Well, yeah, he didn't really. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, he realized he had nothing to deal with this army right now. He had to pull back.
And he did what he needed to do. He killed the 4. He knows he's put Minigun in an awful economic position, so he did the damage and kind of pulled back and regroup a little bit.
Yep. And at this point, Minigun he's down to that one base, which is long distance mining, versus several bases for Kreos. Doing an impressive job of staying in the game, but you know, at some point, you know, Zerg is on 4 bases and you're on 1. You know, what can you really do with
this is a Zerg dream right now. I mean, this is what they want. I mean, you look at his vision, he sees the entire map. He's starting to take bases on Minigun's side of the map. He has Swarm Host in the perfect position where the Protoss can't avoid them. I mean, this is like, if you wrote a script for a late game Zerg game, this is what you would write. I mean, he's got everything in position. And it's honestly impressive that Minigun's doing as good of a job as he is.
The audience is like, this is the first time I've seen a GM Protoss against a mothership. It happens, especially against Swarm Host.
Oh yeah, mothership can help a lot and make Zerg stay on their P's and Q's with their overseers.
But you're definitely enjoying that buff, that speed buff they got a few weeks back. So at this point, what do you think's going through Minigun's head? Do you think he's just warming up still, or is he going to actually try and win this game?
What's going through Minigun's head is, oh my god, I need to get a 5th base. That's what's going through his head. And it'd be nice if Kreos laid some creep here. Oh, he does lay it, but just barely too late to prevent that 5th. And we're actually seeing some harassment going on here at a base of Kreos. So Minigun doing the last about minute and a half has gone about as good as Minigun could have possibly hoped, and he actually got that Nexus down at a 5th base. But yeah, I do think Minigun went into this game wanting to play a long game because he wants to warm up and kind of get his fingers loose and get his mind loose. But Kreos moving in here on this 5th, and I think he knows he's coming down, obviously, because that Overlord. So he wants to move in and not let him take the territory, pulling the mothership forward. And is he able to capitalize on that or not? The Corruptors move in, and they are not going to get that.
And I think that's critical here, is the fact that he was not able to kill that mothership after pulling it. All the Swarm Hosts, wow, getting hit by spawns.
Yeah, Minigun actually pulling ahead here in army value slightly. He's a little bit behind in minerals, but he's ahead in gas, and that's what matters. The larger gas army is usually going to be the one that comes on top, so I mean, this is an absolutely amazing game from Minigun so far to get into the position that he's currently in from the position that he was in about 10 minutes ago.
Indeed. And although Kreos has actually just used up his entire bank, and he's remade his Swarm Host count and Corruptor count with Broodlords, he's got the ideal army composition to deal with what a Minigun has. I guess it's just going to be a question of, can he stop Minigun from mining here on his 5th and getting back in the game?
Yeah, as a Zerg player, when it's this late in the game and you're sitting under 1,000 gas, it's a little bit scary because you know if you trade units, Zerg is really based on being effective by remaxing quickly. And when you're sitting under 1,000 gas, you can't really trade efficiently because you can't replenish your army enough to keep them from countering you and be effective because you don't have enough gas to do it. You see Minigun is broke on gas too, but it's a little bit less devastating for Protoss to be broke on gas late game. And he was able to establish this over here, so I mean this game is not going how neither one of us expected.
No, not at all. And Kreos really needs to, I think he needs to make a concerted effort to take out that mothership. You know, get a little easier time picking out the rest of the army. With when that mothership's there and he's not able to get his overseers in range, he's going to have a hard time dealing with this army of Minigun.
Yeah, and he did make a concerted effort to get into that mothership a little bit earlier, about a minute ago, and he did a good job of paying attention to it, and then Kreos was like, okay, I don't want to lose a punch. so I'm going to plot it here and let him have that fifth for now and kind of regroup. So now he decided to kind of regroup out here in the middle of the map.
And Broodlords, you know, Broodlords are strong, but once the Tempest count is high enough, the Tempests are just going to shred them.
Yeah, Minigun has had enough time to get some air support here to go along with his army, and that's going to make the Broodlords a lot less effective, as you just mentioned.
Well, it looks like Kreos is shoring up again with his Vikings, and I think he's going to make another attempt to dismantle his army with some pulls, some yoinks. But if he doesn't, he might get overrun by this death ball.
Yeah, the Vipers are going to play the key here, obviously. He's going to have to pull that Mothership Core and a couple blocks to be effective here. And Minigun knows it. He's really taking his time. Wants to establish the sixth base down here before he does anything too crazy. And Kreos actually supply stuff right now. He's going to have to build Overlords and notice that, or he's not going to be able to keep remaxing and trading with Minigun.
Alright, well, yeah, the Minigun is just denying every attempt at Kreos', and look at how damaged Kreos' army is right now from all these storms that have just been used to basically block him from coming in, and he's still taking damage every time from them.
Yeah, what Minigun is doing here is he's trying to make sure he keeps the high ground here with the 6, especially to get probes here safely and get the space established. And what he's trying to do is damage that army as much as he can without losing too much from those swarm hosts. You know, basically free damage. So Minigun doing a great job of that so far here, but there's going to be a big engagement at the side of the game coming here in the next couple of years.
Yeah, and Kreos' lead it's almost evaporated completely. I mean, he's now down to 2 mining bases when he was originally up 4-1 mining bases.
Yeah, if we pull up the income tab, Minigun's economy is actually better. I can't believe it, but yeah, any advantage the Kreos had has slowly evaporated into a even game. And economically, they're sitting on about even footing. They're starting to see that third bank build up now over 1,000 gas, or he was for a second there. So now he's going to be a lot more confident in trade with the Protoss army and try to take out some of the support units.
I don't know. I mean, if he doesn't take down this mothership, I'm not really sure Kreos has got any recourse at this point. You know, he doesn't
that
really
mothership
have.
does have full energy, which is very important to point out.
So even if it's not happy with the engagement, it can just take off. Just recall out of there.
Yep. And swarm hosts are the most immobile unit in the game, so.
Yeah, I don't see the swarm hosts really doing anything at all. I mean, they're, you know, the locusts are getting in, but they can't see the critical target, which is the Nexus or the army.
Yeah, I mean, he's actually been that last time right there. He was trying to move them in to snipe some Templars and get those storms eliminated from the army. I mean, the game is definitely still even, and it's gonna just come down to control. Late game, big army control.
Indeed, and you notice that Kreos is specifically targeting the oracles to prevent Minigun from maintaining that long-range vision that enables the Tempest to be so nasty.
See a big Zealot counter coming up here at the 1 o'clock position at a base of Kreos. So many spine callers though, and greatly done by Kreos, knowing that he can't let his bases get harassed. Oh, we're seeing the Mothership Core get pulled in down here in the south too, but it is not going to be sniped off.
And in the meantime, we have a single roach counter attacking Kreos, fourth of Minigun.
Hey, if that roach takes down that gas geyser. Oh no, not quite gonna happen. That was
no, it's not gonna happen.
Hero mission.
And at this point, the Colossus count is just so high, it's just evaporating those locusts before they do anything at all. And a huge, wow. Actually, Minigun is trying to increase his army size. He's stacking a bunch of probes.
Yep, and that's smartly done. He's finally got that 7,000 mineral bank, so he's going to be sacrificing some workers, and he's going to be gearing up for a big engagement here. So the longer Kreos waits, actually the game is slowly going to swing in Minigun's favor with every waking minute that passes, because Minigun knows that the last phase of Kreos, he's got so many minerals to burn that he just wants to make sure he keeps making Kreos pay attention to it and keep building spine collars up there. And every minute that goes by where he's waiting, he gives Minigun more and more time to prepare for the big engagement that's going to decide the game. So,
indeed, and yeah, I think this is Kreos' last chance. He's down to not even a full mining base at this point, and his bank is not large enough to even remax once he loses this army.
if we pull up the income tab, Kreos actually under 30 harvesters, so his income is less than 500 a minute on both minerals and gas. So yes, it's getting pretty dire. He needs to do a massive. Oh, it's been pulled in.
Oh, but he doesn't kill it. And in fact, Minigun actually he recalls himself back to the Nexus too.
Yeah, that was a nice little snap call there by Minigun. Army value tab, third is actually way ahead. So what a crazy game one we have here.
But this tech is starting to go down here to these zealots. There's no answer to this number of zealots in the main of Kreos. So I think this is gonna force Kreos to do or die. This is gonna be like, oh crap, I can't do anything about those zealots. I have to pick this fight, and he does get the mothership this time.
Yes, he did get it. And what Minigun's doing here in the main is he's trying to buy himself more time to get his army ready because he knows he's not quite ready yet. He knows he's still a little bit behind on his supply, but he's still the tech and the way the third. I don't know if Kreos is going to fall for it. You see him really getting aggressive, trying to pick up the ramp, trying to deny the mining that Minigun has, the mining advantage he has over him. And every second here is crucial.
It is. I don't know. I think this is. I think this just suddenly swung in Kreos' favor by just due to the fact that he got that mothership and cleared the way to actually killing, you know, the last remaining, or the second Nexus of Minigun that's going to be mining. And I do think he's going to be able to bring that Nexus down, and then it's going to basically hover around that last base of Minigun. You know, if he's able to take that out, Minigun's got nothing to do. He's got no way of coming back.
Yeah, Minigun had to swim to that base, and he knew it, so he pulls back to his next high ground option, which is up here at his 5th, and he is actually still ahead in income, so no reason to panic for Minigun. Kreos is the one that needs to be aggressive here and needs to get something done, because behind the scenes, Minigun has done a lot of damage and pulled some army supply off of the main battle. We see a bunch of Hydra machines just sitting over here at the natural, and that's army supply that is not being engaged versus the big army that Minigun has. So he needs to notice that stuff and pull it towards the front here.
Now, I think it's important to note at this point that there are only 2 observers out for Minigun, and there's 30 stormers. So I don't see an opportunity right now for Kreos to pick off his observers, but that may become a factor now that the gas has been completed by both players.
Yeah, both players just starving on gas, and Minigun's gas income is actually double that of Kreos. He's at about 450. Kreos is about 230 or 240. So I think, Minigun can't possibly know that, but with every minute that goes by, Minigun's going to be adding more and more gas units.
And now here comes that push, the very important push onto the last line base of Minigun. And Kreos behind us is going to take, and behind it Kreos is going to take the base that Minigun was mining from. So his economy is going to be restarted, and he's going to slowly whittle away again at the final income of Minigun. And once again, a pesky mothership.
Yeah, I actually do think Kreos is in a good spot, because once he gets his base up in the moon, he's not in a dire need to make something happen like he was when there was no more available bases on the map, but now there is the last available base on the map, both his. So he can kind of plop his swarm host there, have his Vipers and Disruptors ready, and Minigun's going to kind of have to come to him, or else, I mean, he could get into like a base trade situation, which is what he's looking like he's going to try to do. Instead of trying to engage at that 3rd base, he's just going to surrender his base and try to get into a good position here to make Kreos move those swarm hosts. Nice. I don't know if he's going to fall for it or not, though.
Kreos was able to take off 1 Colossi, and that's critical at this point. Every Colossi you pick off is going to help a lot.
Oh yeah, every unit is so important, and Kreos is in a very good spot again. He is definitely snagged back in the advantage. He's He's ahead about 60 supply, well, about 40 supply now, but his army value is double that in minerals, and it's even ahead in gas too. So Minigun's gonna have to do something special to pull another comeback out of his sleeve again here.
And a lucky break for Minigun. His zealot reinforcements got in just as the locust died.
Minigun knows that he's going to push forward here. He knows he has to stop this base because there's no more available bases on the map. Mothership 4 gets pulled forward to the front, and it is going to go down. That's a big blow. He's falling behind by about 40 supply. The swarm hosts continue to pummel 3 damage onto that Kronos army. Disruptors are sufficiently high enough to deal with the Void Ray, and Klopp's not going to be able to do anything without support. Minigun having to pull back. Looks like the engagement is going to go his way.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going this way at this point. And you know, production tab is empty at this point, so it's basically. Oh no, Void Ray just got started.
Yep.
And what is Kreos going to do about those 5 Tempests?
He's pulled a bunch of score crawlers up here. He has to defend his base. That's the key to winning. And he has to stop the base from winning, and that's going to be very easy to do with the Swarm Host.
Yeah. I'd say probably the next wave of locusts that Nexus is going to attack. Now, interestingly enough, Kreos has not completely mined out that base he had at the top of the map. So, although this base down here is important, at the bottom, he could still mine from that top base for a decent period of time. Just minerals, though. His gas isn't included.
Minigun literally has 0 income right now. Just
well, I guess he can make 63 more zealots, but I'm not sure that's going to help.
time to grab your 11 folks you have left and just YOLO swag it.
Indeed. So at this point, I think we're seeing the death throws in Minigun. I think as long as Kreos is very careful, and you know, if he could pick off that last observer, that would be incredible. But even if he doesn't, I think if he's just very careful with his engagements, he's probably going to be able to seal this game.
Yeah, he's just got to sell out on air because there's so much air countering. Oh, he gets the Void Wave for free and then pulls back. That was a devastating blow to Minigun.
Wow, this is still a nail-biter, you know? There's enough air here from Minigun that there's not enough corruptors to deal with it yet. I mean, it would be... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Minigun should be pushing forward, though.
He did take out that 6th base of the Zerg with his air, and Kreos does not have enough gas to build air units, so... And he currently has a very minimal gas income, and now it's 0. So, yeah, you're right. This game is just absolutely crazy.
What a great first game. But I wonder if the players can be able to play it.
How many times have both of them been like, okay, so-and-so has the advantage, okay, so-and-so has the advantage, okay, and the other one's pulling it back. Such a great game 1 to get us fired up here.
I think, if anything, from this game, I think both players are going to respect each other, if they didn't already.
And we actually see a base trade situation coming in here where both players know they can't really do anything as far as stopping the other player from stopping their mining, and it looks like Minigun is thinking about pulling back here to deal with this army. He doesn't. Does he have a probe on the map to build anything? I don't think Minigun has a probe right now, but he has the ability to build probes because he has Nexus system.
Yeah, and he is. In fact, I'm surprised he's not chronoing out those probes right now. Oh, yeah, he is. Okay, so he's actually chronoing out some probes. To, like, you know, hell, he could just put down a line of cannons, I think.
And he's going to come back with his air to take out this army. And if Kreos loses his entire ground army, he's going to be a tough find. Not even to stop this mining base from Minigun. And so many Swarmhosts dying right here. He's using the Oracle for protection there.
And,
oh my.
and half of Minigun's buildings are blinking right now, but can Kreos get him down in time before all the Swarmhosts are taken out?
And
Doesn't
champions
look
being
like it.
tossed down here defending this Nexus 2. And are we seeing Minigun pull off the impossible? Is that what we're seeing now?
I think we are seeing it.
I literally am speechless. Now he is sending some Zerglings smartly, sending some Zerglings around the map. He can't let Minigun start to mine, but the Kreos, he is harvesting gas. Where is he harvesting gas at?
He's got it down at the bottom. His long distance mining.
Finds gas. Oh my god, he could not produce any air units. Wow.
What a first game.
Wow. Okay then. So now we have to pick the map for game 2, and that's going to be Kreos' pick.
I think after that, I'm going to get a nice drink and welcome everybody who's here on the channel right now. Thank you for joining Team Gravity's Fight Night number 2. You are here with Roots Chosen and Tampa eSports' Shadow. If you could do us all a huge favor and like Team Gravity's channel, which you are on right now, and possibly even like Tampa eSports' Facebook page. That is facebook.com/Tampa eSports. We would be very much appreciative of it.
Yeah, I'm let's see. Do I have time to go use the restroom quick before we get into game 2?
Yeah, definitely.
Or should I wait until we're in game 2?
The lobby's not even up, so I would say yeah. Go for it, man.
All right, cool. I will be right back.
All right. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to finish my Chipotle. Oh, did we get swapped? You know, Beast, right now, it says Fear Dragon for me and Shadow for Root Chosen. I think you see it. I think you realize it. Another Jack and Coke. Yeah, why not? Nas for last says Swarm Host not a solution versus air. I definitely agree. Although if you played the campaign, you would see the broken, overpowered air shooting Locust.
I am back now.
Alright, cool. Beast, I believe this is the gayest music you've ever played on your stream.
Did we get the map figured out for game 2?
Not that I've seen yet.
Qué bonitos ojos tienes, debajo de esas dos cejas, debajo de esas dos cejas, qué bonitos ojos tienes. Ellos me quieren mirar, pero si tú no los dejas, ni siquiera.
I'm still Fear Dragon on the picture, so hopefully
Yeah, I'm surprised because
hopefully I don't want to tarnish his reputation.
It's alright. You're not the right color to be Fear Dragon. Nobody's gonna mistake you for Fear Dragon.
Looks like we're getting game 2 fired up here.
Ooh, Derelict Watcher. And I'm surprised to see that Kreos chose Derelict Watcher.
Yeah, honestly, going into the next game, I feel like both players are confident. I think Kreos is saying to myself, I put myself in a dominant position, and it somehow, crazily, in crazy circumstances that we won't see again, got away from me. So I don't think he has to worry too much about that. And if you're Minigun, he's saying, I got completely outplayed for the first 10 minutes, and I still came back and won the game. So I think both players have reason to be confident here.
Yeah. Now the question is how much stronger is Minigun going to open now that he's warmed up?
That is true. I can't speak for Minigun on how hard it is to play for the first game of the day. And he had a late night last night, so I know he just woke up like 30 minutes before playing. So it can be tough to jump right in. So we'll have to see
Oh,
if he's a
indeed.
little stronger.
Although I will say that the longer you play these drawn out games, I've noticed that sometimes it's very hard to start the next game because you kind of got to reset yourself. You know, you kind of slow down a little bit and slow down and slow down as a long game like that drags out. And you got to pick it right back up when you start the next game.
Yeah, it can be very tough to kind of reset and refocus when you are put in a position like that for about 40 minutes, like both of them were. So, and Kreos blaming the fact that he built one too many swarm hosts.
Yeah, it was definitely the 50-second swarm host that did him in.
He did build a little bit too many swarm hosts at the end. It's kind of a support unit, and especially once the late game when Minigun was already building the air for support, you don't need to mass swarm hosts anymore.
Right.
But that's something that Kreos will definitely learn from, and if it goes in late game, he'll definitely be better equipped this time.
Yeah, if he had traded some of the swarm hosts for corruptors, I think he would have had a much better chance in that semi-base race that happened at the end of the game.
So are you on rum and coke number 8 now, or what?
No, this is my
Or
second
Jack and Coke?
Jack and Coke.
Jack and Coke. Jack and Coke.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, I'm trying to pace myself. I don't want to get to the point where I can't even keep up the game.
I've been guilty of that a few times. So.
But here on Team Gravity's channel, we don't take ourselves so seriously that we're like, oh, we got to put on our suit and absolutely no alcohol. Because more than likely, Beast is drunker than I am right now, even though he's observing.
So that explains a lot, actually. I'm just kidding.
No,
Anyway,
he's good.
we got a Minigun switching up his build here a little bit, throwing down the gateway gas and before expansion. So he's not going for the forge fast expand, and we see Kreos doing the same exact opener, going for the pool with no gas into the hatchery. So Kreos staying the same, confident in how he played last game and developed a mid-game advantage, and Minigun saying, okay, I tried my forge fast expand and almost died to Kreos' style, so I'm going to go ahead and switch it up and see if I can be in a stronger spot in the mid-game. And kind of a similar map to Akalon Waste, actually. No crazy difference here. It's got a pretty straightforward avenue of attack through the middle, a pretty semi-easily accessible fourth for Protoss. Not as easy as the last map, obviously, but still definitely accessible. Who do you think's the favorite to win this game?
I'm gonna have to possibly say Minigun, and only because if they were pretty much dead even last game, and Minigun is shaking off the sleeps, scratching the gunk from his eyes the first game, he might come back even stronger this time.
Yeah, it's hard to say who's gonna deal with the 50-minute game better. I don't know the exact amount of time. Do you know how long that last game was?
I think it ended up close to 1 hour game time.
Game time. Okay, so it's about 40 minutes of real time.
Yeah,
so yeah, they were
yeah.
They were put in a late game situation for 25 minutes, and when you're playing a best of 7, fatigue can be a factor. Not only with your hands getting tired or whatever, but mental fatigue. Your mind really needs to be sharp in a game like StarCraft, especially at this level. Both these players extremely tough to play against. So it's going to come down to who can handle that the best, because obviously last game showed us that both these players can play pretty evenly versus each other.
And interestingly enough, Minigun he's gone up to 4 gates, so I'm wondering if he's thinking of doing a little bit of gateway pressure, or if he's just thinking defensively here.
Yeah, I think given the way that Kreos played last time, remember he got up to 80 drones ridiculously fast. I think Minigun is going to want to put a little bit of pressure, and you already see it affecting Kreos just by having those gateways. He scouted it with a Zergling. You see Kreos last game put down his 3rd hatch at 4 minutes. Right now we're hitting the 6-minute mark, and Kreos is not even attempting to take that 3rd yet. We just see the drone going over now, so that 3rd is already more than 2 minutes delayed just by getting those gateways, and that's going to make it very, very difficult for Kreos to get that type of mid-game pressure that he was able to establish last game. And a proxy pollen coming down, and we are seeing some pressure coming from Minigun. You called it. He's definitely not all in here. He's just going to be prodding and poking and not letting Kreos get the greedy economy that he got last game.
Yeah, indeed. And Kreos did put down his hatch, but this is one of the reasons why I was surprised by this map placement, by this map choice, is because I really think Derelict Watcher is one of those maps that, right where Minigun's mothership core is sitting right now, that you could just effectively split the map in half. You know, it is very hard to hold your third and across the sides to come in as your natural. You know, there's no way to get a reinforcement up there.
Now, Kreos is actually taking a lot more damage here than I thought. He's having to move his drones around. He's having to kind of run. And he actually just GG's. So, wow, a quick game 2 there, and I think Kreos was trying to hold that pressure off with as little as possible, which is a very important trait of being a good player, a good Zerg player, which obviously Kreos is. I think he just a little bit underestimated how many Zealots were coming. I think he thought there was going to be a little bit more Stalkers in that composition than there was.
Indeed. All right, so we're moving on to game 3 now. Now remember, folks, this is a best of 7, not a best of 5 like before, so we still have plenty of games left.
Yeah, the set definitely not over at all. 2-0 is easily able to come back from, and we see people do it all the time. So as soon as we get the map figured out for game 3, which is Kreos' pick, we will get that fired up. And if anybody's curious about the map pool, let's look at the ones we've already played. So we've played Derelict Watcher and Akalon Waste. So we have Whirlwind, Neoplanet S, Star Station, Belshir Vestige, Newkirk Precinct, Frost, and Yansu left for Kreos to pick from.
Yeah, and not surprisingly, Kreos goes for Belshir.
Yep, going for Belshir Vestige. No surprise here. Coming out of that game, I like how Minigun played. He proved that he was willing to switch up his style. He played super defensive game 1. And then in the next game, he's like, I'm going to throw in some aggression here. Nothing all in, nothing too crazy, but just to show him he needs to be wary if he's going to drone heavily. And it ended up paying huge dividends for him in a 2-0 lead.
Indeed. All right, well, let's... I'm curious if Kreos should, just take it out. He wants to jump right into it, so I guess he's not going to let this the loss affect him. He's just going to jump right in and hopefully pay no notice to that and just basically try and do the same thing, just handle it a little better.
Yeah, no, and sometimes that's the best way to do it, is just jump right in and get back to playing instead of dwelling on it. And yeah, so that's what I like to do anyway when I lose. Instead of sitting there thinking about it or getting mad at myself, just jump right into another game. I always have to end on a win. I don't know if anyone else is like that, but I can't end. I have to sit there. It sucks when you're up till 5 in the morning because you can't get a win. You're losing like 8 straight games. You're like, damn it, I just want to win one game so I can go to bed.
Yeah. I think a lot of people do that. I don't think you're the only one, man. All right, so game 3. I'll be curious to see if Minigun decides to go aggressive again. I mean, it was obviously very effective last time.
Yeah, and in case anybody's just joining us, this is a best of 7 where the winner is going to take home $75 and the loser is going to get $25 for their trouble. So we got a $100 show match going, and down in the bottom right is Root Gaming's Minigun. who currently has a 2-0 lead in the series, and up here is in the top left position is Team Gravity's Kreos, Grandmaster Zerg player, who has played a lot better than a 0-2 score would indicate. Game 1 could have went either way, and Kreos actually had the advantage in that game more often than Minigun did. So
Yeah.
still a very tight series that could go either way, even though it is 2-0 for Minigun.
And Minigun with the early probe scout actually being annoying right now.
Yep, and I love that play from Protoss. You basically force the Zerg into either pulling 2 drones off their minerals or going pool first. So and it looks like Kreos isn't the type of player that likes to go hatch first versus Protoss anyway, because he doesn't want to deal with the cannon rushing and the probe blocking his expansion and all that nonsense. And is Minigun actually, he's going to be going for a Nexus first here.
Yeah, he is.
Nope. He changed his mind. He went for the Forge. He saw that Kreos wasn't going to be going for the hatch first and was throwing down that pool, and he decided, screw it, I have enough time to throw down a Forge and then a Nexus.
And right now doing a great time of delaying the hatchery. Curious to see if he's going to try and get a pylon down or just leave it. No. So at this point, Minigun, I would think, is pretty happy with himself. You know, he managed to get his Nexus down before the hatchery of Kreos and be annoying in the process, which doesn't matter how good you are. When that probe is in there delaying your plans, it does a little bit to you. You know, it sets you back just a little bit mentally, even if it's just for that short period of time that it's going on.
That's just kind of a staple of playing Protoss, is you want to be annoying as often as possible.
Yeah.
Warp Prisms, Dark Templars, you know, blocking hatcheries with probes, you know, anything you can do to be annoying is just that much better for you.
Absolutely.
Now, the drone, we're seeing again the 4-minute third base. We see the drone going here. So Kreos saying, screw it, I'm going back to what I did in game 1. I don't care if Minigun likes it or not. I'm gonna throw down that third at 4 minutes, and I'm gonna do what worked for me. And Minigun is actually going to be in the same exact economic position that he was in game 1, so it's shaping out to be another replay of game 1 here so far.
Indeed, with slightly less chokish areas, you know, for the Swarm host to really take advantage of. So we'll see how it actually ends up playing out.
Yeah, this map definitely way more difficult for Swarm hosts to be effective. They don't have that nice little spot where they can just easily demolish any of your forces that come out. So a little bit easier to maneuver for Protoss in the late game if it comes down to Swarm host.
Indeed, and we can see that Minigun is definitely committed to economy right now. His probe count is still ahead in 28 to 25, although it's about to, he's still ahead in workers. So he's not planning to do anything really early aggressively.
Nope, and he does have the 2 gas, which means he's going to be doing a Stargate again, and there it is, Stargate going down. So yeah, this is literally a clone of game 1, and even down to the fact that Kreos' first 2 gases are at his natural, which is exactly what he did in game 1. I feel like I'm watching a replay. Minigun's Stargate placement is in the exact same spot. If you're wondering why he put it there, he wants to keep it away from Overlords for as long as possible, so that Kreos can't really get an idea of exactly what's coming. And he's just going to be getting a couple Phoenix out and clear the skies, scout Zerg, see what's going on. And if Kreos plays as indicated, he's probably going to be going for a Roach Hydra push and try to not let a Protoss establish a third.
Indeed. And Belcher Vestige, of course, it is easier to deny that third for the Protoss than it is in Akalon Waste.
Oh yeah, the third is just so much easier on Akalon because you got those destructible rocks that you can break down, easily access directly from your natural, and then you can on top of that block it. So very, very difficult to hold. But I like how Minigun has the watchtower. It just makes him feel that much more safe in his base. Very important to have the watchtowers. I would like to see Kreos go snag that from him, but he's playing just so heavily droned that he doesn't want to build any units right now.
No, he definitely doesn't. Now, Kreos is getting lair rather quickly, but not unusually quick. And he's putting down his second Evo, which is slightly different from when he did the first game that we saw, where he only had the one Evo down for a little while. And
Yep,
it
and,
not
go ahead, I'm sorry.
yeah, and he's actually going Carapace this time first. He's not going missile attack like he did the first game.
Yep, you're right. Good call. Getting those spore crawlers down just to make sure that he has plenty to defend against Phoenix. He doesn't want to lose his queens or drones or overlords or any of that, because Minigun's going to try and come up here and be annoying, but it looks like mainly he's just trying to scout with his Phoenix. He wants to kind of poke and prod, see how many gas the Zerg is on, see what his tech. He's going to see the 2 evolution chambers there, so he knows he's going to be facing some ground-based play here. Nothing crazy like a fast Mutalisk or anything like that, and that was what he really needed to see there.
What I'm pretty certain Kreos is going to do, especially seeing this macro hatch go down this quickly, is he is going to try and Zergling up and do something about this third before it becomes entrenched. It's almost you can see it with the speed. He's going to try and hit this timing. I think it's going to be critical that he takes down that Nexus before it gets up and going.
Yep, and if you're wondering why he got the Carapace upgrade this game, it's because if the Protoss gets +1 on their weapons, a Zergling can still take 3 hits from a Zealot, I believe. Am I correct on that?
Yeah.
I think that's why he's getting the Carapace, and that's a big difference because when Protoss hits that +1, they can now kill a Zergling in 2 hits, and 2 hits instead of 3. That makes your Zealots so much more efficient, but getting that Carapace upgrade is going to make everything so much more effective.
And this is really great from what Minigun is doing here. I think he anticipates, he got the scout. He saw what Kreos was planning on doing, but he's going to push up here a little bit with his Void Rays and Mothership Core and just be like, hey, by the way, I'm here to strike your base. You sure you want to go down there and hit my Nexus right now? And that's going to give him that critical time he needs to shore up his third.
Yeah, in a perfect world, he would split up his Zerglings and Hydralisks, but he's just now starting Zergling production. He needs to, use those Zerglings at a different part of the map, take him down to the third, take him down to the natural, split up Minigun's attention here so he can't just harass the main, because he doesn't need those Zerglings with his Hydralisk army right now, but looks like he's just really making sure he has his home on lockdown before he moves out and tries to do anything crazy, and Minigun actually doing a great job of taking down the gas. That's going to be a big economy devastation for the Zerg, not being able to have that gas income because Hydralisks are so expensive with gas.
Indeed. Quite expensive.
We do see the first player to take a 4th is Kreos.
Yep, and I mean that's what he's got to do at this point. I'm not sure he's going to be completely successful going after the third yet. He might. I mean, he might be able to, but at this point, Storm is finished and the high temps have been warped in. So I'm not sure if a Hydra push is going to really do what he wants to. It'll be interesting to see.
The Ling Hydra is so devastating. If the Protoss does not use their AOE AOE properly, you have to have Colossus or Storm, one of the two, to deal with Ling Hydra. You can't beat it with just Immortals or Gateway units or anything like that, or Force Fields. The Zerg will tear you apart, but he does have a lot of Void Ray, Cannon, Zealot. He's got a big storm there on the Hydra. They're still going to move in here. Another big storm.
He might be able to do it. He might be able to just, split these Hydras and commit most of the army and just have a few picking away at the Nexus.
He's going to get the damage to Storm. He's going to have to retreat.
Yeah.
But he might be able to snipe this Nexus.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So close.
Yeah.
No, he had to pull back. Yeah, he took too much free damage from those Storms. He lost his supply advantage. He lost the shock factor of he lost any advantage he had when he was facing the Photon overcharge and the storms that nailed his Hydras in the face. And now if Minigun he was obviously gonna, I was just gonna say, if Minigun is smart, he'll counterattack here. And I think Kreos knew that was coming, and he was gonna lose his 4th and possibly his 3rd.
Now, I have to give both players credit. I have not had a single sip of my Jack and Coke for at least 20 minutes.
That means you're having fun casting. That's what that means.
Yeah, I am indeed. It's almost hard to cast because I'm busy watching the game. Oh, wait, I have to say something? Damn it. All right. Well, now that it's 3-0, I'm kind of curious what Kreos is going to pull. I mean, Kreos is not a cheesy player by any means. He likes to just simply outplay his opponent. And I don't know. I think that's going to be a tall order against Minigun.
Yeah, because I mean, Minigun's not really a player you want to cheese. I mean, first of all, now in Heart of the Swarm, Protoss are so good at holding off cheese with the Mothership Core because you have Photon Overcharge and Time Warp, and not only that, but the Mothership Core attacks too from the air. So Protoss are really, really tough to cheese on two base anyway. If he's gonna cheese him per se, he's gonna have to do so at some sort of timing that prevents Minigun from getting a third. That's the best timing for Zerg to hit. And he had the right idea last game. That Ling Hydra timing attack. If you're trying
Mm-hmm.
to prevent a Protoss from establishing a third, that Ling Hydra attack is definitely the way to go. Minigun just had the perfect amount of Templars and charge loss to deal with it, and the Photon Overcharge just put him over the top. And Kreos needed to bait a couple more wasted storms. If he got Minigun to waste 2 or 3 storms, like kind of juked in and pulled back, juked in and pulled back, I think he could have taken down that Nexus and retreated and then put himself in a good position 4 base versus 2 base. But Minigun just was too smart with his storms there, and that was the difference.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. All right. Well, we still have plenty of people rooting for Kreos in the chat. New viewer says Kreos is just getting warmed up. So let's see what Kreos can do in Game 4.
He's gotten Minigun to fall right into his trap. Give him a little bit of confidence. It's kind of like hustling someone in pool. You let him beat you a couple times, and then you're like, okay, let's play double or nothing, and then you just stomp on them. And maybe that's what Kreos is doing right here. He's just giving him some false sense of hope here.
So in the meantime, audience, if you've had a good time, if you could do us all a favor, remember the Team Gravity is hosting this event and Tampa eSports is co-sponsoring it. So if you could like this channel and go to facebook.com/Tampa eSports and like Tampa eSports' page, there's going to be more events like this, and we would very much appreciate the likes. That's all we're looking for. And for you guys to have a good time, too.
For sure. Great event. I always like to tune into these, and I'm glad I could finally join one. It's been a good time.
Indeed. And thank you again for helping to make this happen.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Hopefully we can do it again soon.
Wanted to play. Minigun
Yeah.
was excited to play in it, so that's always a good thing.
Indeed.
I wonder what map he's gonna pick for Game 4. Is he kind of thinking about it right now, or?
I'm not sure. I would say probably Beast and Kreos are having a private conversation at the moment.
Little coaching session.
Yeah, probably. Because we know Kreos can do it. It's just going to be a matter of clearing the mind and getting back into it 100%.
I wonder if I can. Am I able to access his statistics here? I'm gonna look at Kreos's statistics in Zerg
ZVP.
Protoss. ZVP is actually his middle matchup. His best matchup, according to Grandmaster Ladder, is Zerg vs Zerg, which he has a 57% rate. Terran is his worst matchup at 42%, and then Protoss is up there close to number 1 at 54%. So he's pretty well distributed in both matchups, struggling just a little bit versus Terran. So yeah, Kreos definitely has the potential to steal, to not even steal, but win a few games here versus Minigun. It's just going to be Minigun's playing just surprisingly solid for rolling out of bed and kind of showing up.
Maybe a little hungover.
Yeah.
Well, you said he was out having a good time last night, right? So.
Well, I don't know about that. I just said he had a late night.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't know what these crazy root guys do at the root house. I don't want to know.
Well, we get to see it sometimes. Sometimes it's funny when Katz is casting, he's got to yell at everybody else to shut up because they're making so much noise doing whatever they're doing.
Oh yeah, that's just standard. I can't imagine the keyboard clicking, the incessant mechanical keyboard clicking 24 hours a day. I wonder if that would drive you crazy. Like you're sitting there watching TV, you just hear like 5 keyboards clicking constantly all day.
Oh yeah, especially if you're watching TV. But it might just
I
reach that point
wonder-
where it's just like white noise, and you just kind of get good at tuning it out completely. Ooh, Yansu is going to be the last map.
Yansu. Nice. Should be getting an invite anytime here.
So have you had a chance to visit the gaming house yet?
I haven't. I actually live in Lincoln, Nebraska, so I'm about 1,800 miles away from the root house. So I definitely do want to go there for a weekend though, and meet everybody and hang out. Hopefully, sometime if there's a MLG I go to out in California, I'll make an appearance and see what that's all about. But unfortunately, I haven't got the chance to go out there yet. I was trying to convince them to put the root house in Nebraska because we have the cheapest housing market and the best internet.
Indeed.
But um, but I was unsuccessful in that bid.
Yeah, unfortunately, it seems like the heart of esports is over there on the West Coast right now.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Which I'm not surprised though. I mean, that's where Silicon Valley is, and hell, California is such a big state, anyways.
Well, my argument was I was like, why do you guys care how nice the weather is? Like, we're just gonna be inside playing StarCraft all day anyway. like like let's be honest here. Like, so what if it snows in Nebraska 5 times a year? Like, no big deal.
Yeah, who cares? I mean, it's all the more reason to just keep playing StarCraft.
I mean, we got bomb internet. Omaha's supposed to be some sort of like internet pipeline because it's yeah. Basically, if you drew a bullseye on America, Omaha is dead in the middle, like right in the middle of America. So it's also nice for like traveling because no matter where an event is, you're basically the same distance away from it no
That's a
matter
good
what.
point. Yeah, but they might argue that you're always far away from whatever you do.
That's true. I mean, there's no like big events in Nebraska, and that's right. Go Big Red, Surfo Tuna. Go Big Red. I had to watch the game today, and they played good. But before I start ranting about college football, I'll introduce the players. Down here in the bottom left is Root Gaming's Minigun playing Protoss, and currently with a 3-0 lead in this best of 7 series, playing for $100 total. These players are. And then up here in the top right position, playing Zerg, is Team Gravity's highly ranked Grandmaster, Kreos. And like I said before, series is a lot closer than the 0-3 would indicate. Kreos isn't just getting smashed. Game 1 could have went either way. And if you're just joining us, feel free to say it in the chat and ask any questions, and we'll explain any other games that you want to know about, etc., etc. But are you thinking Kreos is gonna play cheesy, or is he gonna stick to his standard
No.
style here?
No, I don't think Kreos even knows what cheese is, other than being on the receiving end of it.
That's good. That's my kind of player. That's the type of player I respect, is someone who has confidence in their ability to outtask people and not having to rely on stealing games. But that's not to say it's a stupid decision to cheese, because throwing it in there every now and then is smart and it throws your opponents off. So I would have nothing against him if he did decide to pull off some cheesy build or do something crazy here.
Indeed, even Flash cheeses from time to time.
Yeah, I mean, you got to. You can't. I was watching Huck's stream yesterday, and he talked about this for like 30 minutes. He was like, when I'm preparing for a match, I study the other player, and if they do the exact same build every single time, I mean, I'm just gonna blind counter them, and before we even play our series, they're starting from behind. So I mean, and we've already seen Kreos and Minigun both kind of bust out a couple different openers and a couple different styles, but it looks like what Kreos is most comfortable with is that 4-minute third, and then kind of moving into Hydralist play. Seems to be
Indeed.
what he's most comfortable with.
Yeah, and it's worked very well for him in the past. I just hope he can get that little extra edge he needs to push Minigun back this time.
No, and he's played great. Last game really could have went either way. I've played every race as my main race, and I loved the style he used in Game 3. I used to always play that Ling Hydra timing attack to bust down the Protoss third. I mean, obviously, I'm not playing against people like Minigun. I was just in high diamond or low masters, so it's a little bit easier for me to pull off. But I loved the style he played last game, and it can be successful. It's just Minigun's storms were perfectly timed and perfectly positioned, and it came down to control, and Minigun did a great job of controlling it, but he very well could have won that one game 3 it was.
Interesting. And in the meantime, Kreos has put down his third again, so he's got basically the exact same base timings. And Minigun deciding not to cannon it. Probably smartly so, seeing as how the pool's been down for a while.
Yeah, and it's late enough where Kreos can feel safe with just getting 2 Zerglings. Sometimes earlier in the game, you want to get the 4 Zerglings because it's not enough to hold those crazy Protoss cheeses. Like if they, were to do something crazy, but he's feeling confident with just getting the 2 Zerglings and droning up otherwise, starting team production, getting everything kind of sorted out. And we actually see Minigun damaging those rocks a little bit. He just wants to be able to take his 3rd super fast because he knows he's not going to have to worry about Zerglings busting those down anytime soon. So smart thing to use his cannon for what it's worth, and I think he has a complete wall off here, so he's going to have to actually kill a pylon or a gateway or something when he wants to move out.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that. I mean, that wall off is 100% complete. It's, he's completely impervious to any type of Ling run by right now.
And that might be the reason he's killing off those rocks. Sorry to interrupt you. He might just, when he thinks about moving out, just gonna kind of plow down through that bottom right side instead of destroying a pylon or something.
Indeed. Let's see, Kreos. I don't really see any. I mean, he's just droning right now.
One Zawa her ass up here at the 3rd, and
yeah,
actually doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, but that queen's gonna push it away.
Yep.
If I take a look what the workers killed, we only lost 1 worker, so it didn't really do all that much, other than a little bit of delayed mining time.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna get that 1 drone, but it actually survived with like 5 hit points. So when I said a lot of damage, I meant stopped drone production and killed 2 drones. But it turns out that he really just was using it for scouting, see how many drones are at that 3rd, kind of see how many queens are running at, see what the correct creep spread is, and just kind of get a feel for how the game is going, and actually throwing down that 3rd. So Minigun's feeling confident right now with where he stands.
Indeed. Maybe this is the opening that Kreos needs to actually get ahead.
Yeah, Minigun is taking that 3rd a little bit sooner, and if he wanted
Kreos
to play...
putting down his sword.
Okay, so yeah, Kreos is actually bucking the trend here. He's going to be switching it up, and he's not going to do that 3-base timing. He's going to be going for that fast 4th, and I like it. I think, he feels confident in his late game ability. He played great in game 1. Yeah, he only lost it basically on some fluky things that kind of occurred in Minigun's favor and unit compositions that kind of fell in Minigun's favor. But I like how Kreos is playing here. He's staying confident and believing in himself even though he's down 0-3.
Indeed, and I've noticed that Minigun. Well, no, okay, now he's started the Phoenix production thing. I thought he was going to stay with just 2 or 3 Phoenix, but it looks like he is going to go up to 5 again.
Yeah, and Minigun really is proving in this series that he loves to get those Phoenix on the map and take over the skies. Doesn't want the Zerg to be, spilling out creep on his expansions and scouting, his base constantly. And he wants to be able to have that infinite scouting information, see what the Zerg is building, see how many gas they have, blah blah blah, all that good stuff, and the Phoenix allow Minigun to do all that stuff.
Indeed, they do. Blah blah blah. And okay, so Kreos has decided to go the missile attack route again. So we are going to see the Hydras that we saw before.
Yep.
I wonder if he's going to go quickly into Viper Hydra because his infestation pit's almost done already.
Now he's staying with the 1 evolution, or no, okay, you're right. My screen was off, so I only saw 1, but he does have 2 there. Okay, cool. I was a little bit confused there for a second.
And interesting, I don't recall, has Minigun made a Warp Prism in the previous games?
He did in game 1, but he did not in game 2 or 3.
That's right. So he is making one this game.
He only used the Warp Prism in late game for game 1, just to kind of buy himself time and get the Zerg to kind of pull back. But Kreos actually proved that he was very good versus Warp Prisms. He kept his army split perfectly and used the minimum amount possible to deal with that Warp Prism. So It could be a mistake by Minigun to do that. I don't want to say it's a mistake because he's already got 3 base, so he probably thinks if I can keep Kreos off of me long enough for me to get my 3 bases up and running, that I'll be confident in my late game ability. So that could be what he's doing with the Warp Prism, and I don't see where it is on the map yet.
Yeah, if we take a look.
Okay, there it is. There
Oh
it is.
yeah, it's coming in right now. Top
On
left.
yep, top left position. So what he's going to be doing here is, and Kreos is actually so ready for this. I mean, yeah, I'm so smart. I predicted this. I knew he'd be ready for this.
Yeah,
He already
Kreos is
proved
basically.
he's good versus Warp Prism play.
Yeah, he's got the middle finger up for that Warp Prism. Well ahead of time.
He really does, and I love the Phoenix play. You know, Warp Prism's on one side, Phoenix on one side, just trying to snipe Overlord, scout, just see whatever you can with Protoss. Information is power, or I guess knowledge is power. I think that's the actual quote.
Yeah, but I mean, what's the difference, right?
That's right.
All right, so we are seeing the Vipers like I thought. I mean, Kreos with a very fast hive. This is a very fast hive, but I mean, the whole point behind it was to tech up to those Vipers.
Yep. He's basically doing like a supercharged version of what we saw in Game 1. So he's going to be going for the, you know, Swarm Host, Viper, Roach, Hydra, but he's basically doing it with a better economy. So instead of having that 3 base timing, he got his 4th super fast. And what he's going to do is try to come down here about where his other ship is, a Minigun, and really entrench his Swarm Host and his army and Vipers and not let Minigun. Oh, but we've actually got a Warping up here. The perfect amount of Roaches and the perfect job of Kreos. Having just enough to deal with that and not panicking and moving his whole army. So great job dealing with that and actually throwing down his 5th down here.
And this is a great opportunity right now for Kreos because Storm is not done. It just started. I don't know if he realizes it. He's actually he's going to push in right now. He's splitting his army just a little bit, and can he do the damage he needs though?
I don't think he's going to be able to break this. It's going to be close, but I think Kreos is going to have to pull back because with the Photon Overcharge, the Templars moving close in front. It's a mistake. He could have sniped a couple of those, but now they move back. And pretty good force field there, trapping a lot of units in the tree. And Minigun able to really stabilize and get a lot of free kills here. And there you see those Hydras trying to run away, and that's just a waste. Hydras are awful at retreating.
Yeah, unfortunately now Kreos fell behind in supply, and you generally don't want to be behind in supply against Protoss as Zerg.
No, but his saving grace is that he's about to be 5 bases versus 3. If he can stop Minigun somehow from getting that 4th up, if Minigun gets that 4th up, this is going to be a really tough game for Kreos to win. Without him having Swarm Hosts on the map in position that stop Minigun's mobility, it's going to be very tough for him to beat a 4 Protoss or a 4 base Protoss given the position that Minigun's in right now.
And I don't really know what he's going to be able to do against that 4th with such a tiny little choke getting into it.
And yeah, he knew with no contain and Minigun just having free reign on the map that it was going to be pretty much GG, and he just accepted his fate. Do you want me to try and ask Minigun if he'll come on and let us chat with him quick, or even Kreos or anybody? Or
yeah, definitely, we would love to have him on.
let me ask Minigun quick. So wow, a 4-0 for Minigun, and I'm currently asking him if he'll come on and let us kind of pick his mind about what he was thinking in certain situations and stuff. I don't know if he's got any plans or has to go really quick or anything, but did not expect a 4-0. I know Kreos is a great player, and especially with what we saw in Game 1, I thought we were gonna have to buckle our chin straps and and be here for the full 6 or 7 games, but Minigun showing that once he got warmed up, he was just going to be playing extremely solid.
Indeed, and I mean, at this point, we've been casting for about 3.5 hours. At least I have. So, yeah, it's kind of overwhelming just to see it end so quickly after such an epic first game.
Yeah, well, you guys had the 2 best of 5s, and then this main event, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good day of casting right there.
Yeah, it's a wonderful day of casting. I'm glad we were able to do this. So in the meantime, while we get this interview lined up, audience, we'd like to thank you very much for coming out today. I hope you all had a good time. If you could do us a favor and like this channel, and possibly go like facebook.com/Tampa eSports. We are co-sponsoring this event with Team Gravity. We very much appreciate your support. Thank you.
And Minigun has just said that he will come on the call with us, so he just asked for 1 second to he's probably wanting to grab a drink or something after that series. So stay tuned, because we're going to get Minigun on here. If you guys have questions, go ahead and post them in the channel, and I will make sure and try and read them and ask him. If you have anything you wanted to ask Minigun about what he was thinking, etc., etc. But yeah, thanks a lot for putting these on. These are really fun. I hope you guys continue to do these. Are you guys doing one next week?
Yeah, we're doing. This is probably going to be a bi-weekly to every 3-week event. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm committed to this for at least the next 6 months myself, if not more. So I don't see any reason why they won't continue for a long time.
Awesome. Yeah, these are fun. I think it's a good thing for, people who are either new to StarCraft or veterans of StarCraft to tune in and see how the best players in the server are doing things. And as far as North American ladder, you're going to get to see some of the best go at it and all that good stuff. So let me see if I can invite Minigun here.
Okay.
Get him in the call. Did that work? On Skype there, did that work?
Yep, here he comes. It looks like he's still connecting, but nope. I don't know if we have an overlay.
Hey, Chad, you here?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hey, what's up? I hear you.
All right, awesome.
Hey, can you hear us well?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So so you just 4-0'd a top GM Zerg. How were you feeling after game 1 and going into game 1? Were you confident or kind of even, or?
Pretty confident going into game 1. I'm pretty happy with my PVZ. Lose that game. When he did the Viper timing, few miscontrols. I didn't get the feedbacks off on the Vipers, but I was able to take it to the macro game and just out control him.
You're so humble. We can kill him.
Yeah, we actually thought you were dead like 10 minutes into that game when he hit your natural with the Hydras and he killed your forwards and stopped your upgrades in game 1, and we thought you were pretty much GG at that moment, and you actually came back and pulled it out over like a 45-minute game.
Yeah, it seemed like your win was maybe 6 corruptors away from being a loss. It seemed very close.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But he just ran out of. So in game 2 or in the next games, were you switching up your style? I saw you got a little bit more aggressive. In game 3, or I kind of get them mixed up, but one of them you did a Zealot timing attack, and then one of them you held off with Templars. Was there something you scouted that made you kind of decide that, or was it just kind of a different build you chose to go with?
It was just a different build. I'm kind of known for just using one build, so I've been trying to branch out a little bit, mix up some aggression, and it turned out it worked that game. So
yeah, we thought you'd do a little bit of damage, but he ended up just GGing, so that worked out really well.
Yeah, if they skip the Roach Warren, they pretty much can't hold it off unless they get the surround on the first Zealots. That's the only way they can win with Zerglings, unless they have Spines or a bunch of Queens, which he didn't have. So kind of a build order win, although he scouted it, so I'm not sure why he didn't build a Spine or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure he was
well,
expecting quite that many zealots either. I think he thought maybe there'd be some stalkers in the mix.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, because if you had stalkers, then Zerglings and Queens do a little bit better. But yeah, you just had too many zealots. And then game 4, you basically just played super macro and held off what he was doing, and then he tapped out. So what were you thinking during that game?
Well, I saw him going for a really fast hive, and when they do that, they're generally doing a Viper timing after you go Stargate. So I built a few extra cannons and rushed to Templar. I didn't quite have Storm, but you don't really need Storm as long as you can get those key feedbacks off, and they can't get the pulls or the what's the cloud ability?
Abduct.
The cloud ability
Binding
for
Cloud?
Zerg? Yeah.
Binding Cloud, I think.
Cats, you're not helping.
Abduct.
No, not abduct.
What it?
The cloud one.
Blinding cloud.
Blinding cloud.
Binding
Thank
Cloud, yeah.
Yeah. You don't want them to get either of those off, and if you can prevent them from getting a spell off with the Vipers, it's pretty much a free win.
Yeah, and he knew he couldn't hold off what you were doing, and you were in too strong of a position with 4 base, so it was pretty GG. Well, thanks for playing, and pretty impressive to 4-0 versus a very good Zerg player. So if you guys want to follow Minigun, make sure and follow him at root_Minigun on Twitter, and check out his stream. He's featured on Team Liquid, very high level, consistent Protoss. And is there anything else you want to say before you can go ahead and do your own thing?
Just a shout out to my team and sponsors, Twitch, TT eSports, PlanetSide 2, Dash Keyboards, and Avery Media. And like you said, follow me on Twitter and watch my stream when I stream. Be much appreciated.
Awesome. Thanks for playing, man. Take it easy.
All right, thanks for the
Thank you very
invite.
much, Minigun.
See ya.
Cool. So that was Minigun joining us. Nice enough to chat about what he was thinking about real quick, and hopefully you guys enjoyed watching. I don't know. I'll let you kind of say whatever you want now.
Yeah, I guess Beast, you can unmute at this point and join us. You know, if you want to have a conversation with us. No, I don't think so. All right. Well, in the meantime, we are planning on putting on Fight Night number 3. Currently, the players are unannounced, but obviously it will be of equal or even better quality than what we have already, and that's a tall order. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out today. This is an event put on by Team Gravity and co-sponsored by Tampa eSports. If you could like us, we would appreciate it. And also, we would very much like to thank Roots Chosen for helping to put this event on today, getting in touch with the players, coordinating times, and everything like that. Thank you very much for your help.
Yeah, no problem. I had fun. Thanks for having me.
All right. Beast, you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here. I guess my my mic was muted still.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, none of our guys won a single game today, but we did invite some good talent. So, regardless, it was still a lot of fun to watch, and I enjoyed it anyway. And I hope the players did, and hope you guys had fun as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I had a blast. It was fun. I thought are we still on, by the way, or?
Yeah, we're still on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I mean, yeah, I really thought it was going to be a good series, honestly. I thought it was going to go 6 or 7 games, but I mean, maybe, just luck of the draw. Sometimes the builds go your way, sometimes they don't.
Yeah, it's tricky. I mean, that composition in the first game that Minigun had seemed really, really hard to figure out how to break. And like you guys said, one of his key strengths was his late game army control, and he proved it there. Obviously, not getting that the key part of that composition was that mothership, and I thought Kreos almost grabbed it up a couple times, but he let it get back behind the army, and that was basically what allowed Minigun to keep moving forward and take those bottom 2 bases there.
Yeah, I wonder if after game 1, there's basically 2 schools of thought. There's, I played good and I went to late game, so I'm set. Or there's, wow, I really screwed that up, and you kind of get down. So I wonder if he was just a little bit rattled after game 1 and kind of lost a little bit of muster, or if it was just kind of Minigun played great.
Who knows? I mean, Minigun definitely did play great. One thing I noticed was that he kept getting that third up super fast without it being contested at all. Pretty much all games except the game number 2, obviously. And then that allowed him to just go into his macro mode, and it worked out for him. So it was a lot of fun. I want to thank both of you guys for coming on to cast. Also, Fear Dragon, if you're still around, thank you so much for casting today. And thanks everybody for watching and joining us. Please give us a follow on the channel here. Follow us on Facebook. All the information is down there at the bottom. And then also make sure to give the casters a follow as well. Under their pictures is their info. So it all helps out, and it'll be greatly appreciated. We'll keep you guys updated if you give us a follow on our Facebook page and on Tampa eSports Facebook page. We'll keep you updated with the upcoming fight nights. Maybe we'll shoot for a couple weeks from now, and hopefully be able to invite back the same caliber of players. Hopefully we'll win a game, but
You will. It's just how it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just how it goes.
Well, I guess we'll close it out. Thanks a lot, guys, and thanks everybody for watching. It was a blast. See you next
Indeed.
time.